Mano kradwa pako jaduong' mano nyuolo nyithinde jaduong' chori atende tiedero pako kodong' wake. Jaduong' wacho ni nyithindo mano nyuolo insurance mage luongo gi ni pay as you earn. Omiyo jothum ng'aduru mach. Shake your body down. Miela, miela, miela. 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 Shake it, you shake it.
Before Kenya or you independent, you do ne negura nega getong. Unge gimoro manitu na kata kengi dogi. To ang'eyo ni in gi dhok mang'eny abira negi takao dhok. Ne onge weche mang'eny michano. Bura moro be ne onge ni court be ne onge.
I appreciate the missionaries who brought for us the word of God and what they did, because at the beginning things were not very, very easy when they came. But it cost them a lot because they didn't even know the language. And look at them as strangers in this land. We Africans could be going on with our traditional religious beliefs that we had. So I think I appreciate so much their coming.
I came to know about the difference between Asians and Africans during the time of the Mau Mau. Because that's the time we heard, oh, they're fighting for independence. And we didn't understand what independence meant. Because I guess in Kisumu, being a small place, we didn't feel segregated as such. Number of Africans who really suffered at that time because whenever we traveled from Kisumu to Nairobi by car, we used to see the concentration camps, and that was really frightening.
Yes, so people live in this town, which is also multi-sectoral. It has different cultures. People live here. But then, the deeper influence maybe is just now coming to the young people who are getting influenced from other cultures, more so because of intermarriages, because of relationships and all that. But the old people who've lived in this town, like my parents, they still value culture so much, so much.
To be a Luo generally is to belong to a community, and that community generally it speaks a specific language. Yes, but one thing which I also have to note that in Kenya, the tribal identities seem to be stronger than the national identity.
Yes, I'm a Luo, but I'm a Kenyan. The umbrella is Kenyan.
Yes. This is Macadam. One guy called Gabriel Mondi, engineer Mangola, and you're the way I'm going to get him.
The time we were doing body maps and talking about our individualized parties and all that, we realized that everyone is different, everyone is unique, and everyone has a thought of what he thinks about Kenya.
The experience I had, especially from the questions that we were given, challenged me greatly because you are asking, like, who are you as a Kenyan? That's a question that I think I've never asked myself for the rest of my life. I know that I'm a Kenyan and that is full stop. But what makes me a Kenyan, I had not really reflected to see and to know what makes me a Kenyan.
And to me, the experience was good because all along I've never been an artist. I've never drawn or painted. But then the experience to me was good because I expressed myself through artwork.
I saw many Joro Chere, driving Yamburuku as a cobbler, do Codiero. Watch on you walk on Moniele, Dafuonge. Watch on you walk on Moniele, Aduge. Wolo my ye, Wolo Yele, Woda Lego. Asebedo Katagrataga, Akiakato Suayo, Jejepodo Suayo Tago.
Because the silent room gives me an opportunity to express my opinion and my views without intimidation or without fear.
I think it's the best way to seek opinion of the people of a country that needs the views of its citizens to move forward. No noise, you're there, and you see when you're answering questions from someone you don't see, yet the questions come. I think it's a pleasure. Yeah, it's a nice place.
Because as much as you'll woo a woman to come, like in the morning, I talked to a woman and she accepted. When she went to the salon troupe, after half a minute, after a second, she walked out because she was scared. So women are feeling like they're scared. Yeah.
We have this issue of wife inheritance, that if your husband dies, you're inheriting. When it was there before, but what was there before and what is there now is quite different. What was there before was that when a man dies, a relative or a brother takes over his family, but it was for the continuation of that family and for the support that it brought to that family. While now, the wife inheritance is a bit different because, number one, women are forced and told you have to be inherited so that you can open ways for your children. Yet, they have to pay for these inheritors. They have to pay them some money, They have to make them live well, better than their children. And many times, it is now a commercial thing. There are several people who are just in the community who make money from widows.
There was a time I was working with an organization called WAFNET, that is Women Action Forum for Networking. We did a research on the retrogressive culture, the Luo retrogressive cultures. What we found, around 99% of our cultures are based on food and sex. You are not supposed to eat this if you are a woman. Men are supposed to eat this. If a home is built, you have to have sex. If your daughter is married, you have to have sex. Things like it was sex and food. Like my husband died. If I am inherited or cleansed, what are the gains?
Everybody in Kenya, even Bantus, even Luo, even would like to have money. And how to get this money is a problem. Because there is a rule in Kenya that you can't get good money unless you are educated nowadays.
What does it make me proud? Number one is the rate of corruption. It's very hard for people to get jobs unless you know anybody. Now it has reached a time where, jobs are advertised, but if you don't know anybody, you will not even get shortlisted. So you have to buy your way through everything. That's what I don't like about Kenya. You have to pay money for a bribe to get any type of services. So that's what I don't like about Kenya. The other thing is the different classes. Some people are so poor, so unbearably poor, while others are really, really rich. But if there's something that can be done so that the poor can also, reach some level, it would be good.
There is lack of employment, So there are so many people that are not employed. People with certificates, great certificates, not doing any important job or any meaningful work because they lack a place to do what they had admired or desired to do in their lives.
There's so many people who are just idle, doing nothing, which leads to increase in crimes, because if you can't feed yourself, what will you do? You'll just go and, attack people, steal from people. Although the lake is positive and also negative, because you find it brings a lot of earnings to a few people. It's a means of transport for other ventures. But again, it brings challenges, because when you see in the areas where there's a lot of fishing, there's a lot of prostitution, there's a lot of death rate, diseases are high. But I know many of our people are more into white-collar jobs and all that. So business is quite something that others are better than us. It's a cliche, saying that other people are better in business. That's why so many Asians are doing business in this town and doing well with the business. So many Kikuyus are coming to this town and doing very well with the business.
The Asian community have lived in Kisumu County for more than 100 years. But as much as we have been living peacefully, there are still issues to do with discrimination, like the issues of marriage. It is not easy for me or for any other Luo to get married to an Asian woman.
The name of the person was Valji, and he was married to Esther, that we are talking about, in 1964. In Kisumu, there were mixed marriages, and quite a few. This is just one of the names, because they were our next-door neighbors. There was John, who was married to an Asian man on the other side of our house. So it was happening at that time, so I don't think it wasn't there. In Nairobi University, where I studied, some of my friends had African boyfriends.
We have a large number of the Indian communities in this town, but they have their own way of life and their own areas that they go to, and that has given me and the others this perception that they're not one of us. That's why it's not easy for most of us to see them as Kenyans sometimes.
There was a time the Asians were trying to come up with some image in town in terms of their religious beliefs, and the people coming from this community did not take it lightly. In fact, that image was destroyed despite the key leaders having to intervene for the local people to stop that act. But the local people went ahead, and that image was finally destroyed and removed from town.
Even the ones we went to school with, we were friends in school, but at some point that friendship dies when they start working. You can meet them and say hi, but it's not that hi of, how are you, it's hi Faith, oh hi Shamir, or hi, and it ends with that. So there's just that gap between us.
I had adopted 2 children, Lillian and Peter. They had a father, but no mother, and they spent most of the time with me. I picked them from school and made them meals. When you ask me about my Indian children having relationships with black Africans, in sleepovers, my son had mostly African friends. He would go to their home, they would come to mine. If you bring up your children to be friends without any barriers, they can't be barriers later on, because they will have grown up together from nursery to university. I would have accepted this choice.
When there was that post-election violence, there was fracas, people were scared, there was no peace, and then I couldn't stay in this place. Me being somebody from a different tribe or from different place or community, I couldn't actually stay here. So when I left my job, when I came back, somebody else had been replaced there. I couldn't secure it again because actually it took long.
When people went for political meetings and then handouts were being given to us, you are given an handout and then you are also accompanied by a panga, and then you board a matatu, maybe you are inside there, 18 people, you go to a political rally of an opponent. Then when you reach there, what you do is just to alight from the vehicle and you start attacking. So personally, I have been engaged in such acts, but it is true that due to the work of Bafope and the work that we have been trained to do, now we have desisted and we are no longer engaging in such activities.
They have cocoons. If you walk in this town, you'll find groupings of people somewhere just politicking the whole day, going back home. Just when you pass there, you just hear, oh, Raila did this, Raila, we are with you. You know, they always talk about him while his life is going on. So it really drags us, It's high time they took the society the way it is. They took our current president and moved with him.
An okamor kawacho kamano, okamor. Kich ng'atni ochung' dwaro ni mondo ang'o asapote. To ng'atni ochung' dwaro nang'o asapote. Koro supporting ni ng'ato ka ng'ato madwaro bendo bid kata president kata moko dwaro bedo a member of parliament kata moko dwaro bedo ang'o. Koro jogi dhaw o giherore. Ka giromo, when they meet together, there is a big quarrel. Nyocha giromo ka gweng'wa ka, obuolo kama koro yaen. Ka ng'ato chopo to ng'ama chielo chopo to koro jali dwaro mondo en mowuog gi ji to jali dwaro mondo koro there is a war. Omiyo an ok amor gi mano. Kaki wacho no, I don't like that.
Because if you go at our place, you'll find even in the market, it's Kalenjin. There, if you don't know, you'll find yourself knowing it because people are expressing themselves in Kalenjin. You'll be greeted Chamge. Even if you don't know, you'll have to know it. To me, when I came here, I had to learn Luo, and for now, actually, I know almost 80% of Luo because you can't express yourself in Kiswahili or in English. That one will be like this one, in Nyalango. This is a Kalenjin, or this is a Jamwa or a Luya. So you have to learn.
Management of Jomo through management of Moi through management of Kibaki and of Uru. All those Jomotelogo. Gima gidwaro maduong' dala gi kako nyalo yudo gima konyogo dala gi tok ji duto. For example, pesa moro nyocho biro mar loso roads. Apa nyocho winje pesa nyocho biro maduong' mar loso roads. Kidhi kunde jotelogo tin man ka kanyo dala los maber yore bolos to kundwa kuntonge. Miyo ano kanyal support gini ng'ato ka ng'ato dwaro nang'o iye mondo chamo dhi e iye ng'ato dwaro e iye to jowadgi manoteri ka to ok odwar. Emomiyo an apogora kanyo ok amor kod telo.
It is natural that people cannot be equal or they cannot be the same in a way because just as you are born, also you are born differently. So at different times, at different ages and the rest. So we don't expect that we must be equal. But there is a disparity between those who have and those who don't have. Those who have even they are given more. And those who don't have, they even don't even the little they have is taken away from them. The little like land, you can be having nothing but you have land. The rich man will come from somewhere and say, may you sell for me this your land. Then you give the land and you remain with nothing at all.
I wish to live in a country whereby I'm not viewed like I'm a Kalenjin. Whenever I meet a Kikuyu or a Luo or a Luya, I would wish for him to see me as a sister, not as a Kalenjin.
When asked who you are, I would say I'm a Kenyan, not even Kenyan Asian, because I don't go to Asia anyway. It's a name given to me because I happen to be brown. I don't know.
While some people you have to, call and say, oh, hi, I'm coming to visit. In Kenya, you can just walk in and say, hi, honey, I've arrived, and people will welcome you. And you'll join them in eating their ugali, and it's okay.
Kenyans before felt that there was no equal distribution of resources unless and until this issue of the county came. Some of the resources could not reach everywhere in Kenya. But I want to believe that as we are moving on with the new dispensation, then we are going to have a bit of equality in terms of distribution of resources in the government, in the country. Yeah.
The nicest moments of Kisumu. It's so beautiful. I can visualize the sunset in Kisumu. There's nothing like sitting on the lakeside on the stones. It's so beautiful. You can hear the waves of the water while watching the sun go down.
You Luo, you Bantus, you Kalenjin, you Maasai, you Kikuyu, all these are Kenyan. Kenya and Dalawa. It is my and Dalawa. To bear na hinya.